Welcome back to Soil Box. I'm out here at the Harpeth River in Tennessee today to do our lesson. Our verse today is from Psalm 37:7, and it says, "Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him." We're going to begin talking today about waiting on the Lord. You know, there's never been a Christian who hasn't had to wait on the Lord. And we are by nature impatient people when we want or need something. James 5:7-8 says, "Be patient therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it, until he receives the early and the late rains. You also be patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand." Waiting requires patience. Patient isn't a word we like to hear when we're hurting or when we're frustrated or when we're in a hurry to get something or get somewhere. But if we desire to follow Jesus, patience is necessary. Romans 15:5 says God is a patient God. You know, He's very patient with us. And if we're going to be like Him, we too are going to have to develop in the area of patience. You know, another thing I like to focus on as we begin talking about waiting on the Lord is that oftentimes when we're waiting on the Lord, that's when the enemy's going to hit us the hardest. You know, he's going to hit us with doubt. He's going to attack our faith. He may hit us with condemnation or guilt, fear, anxiety, and worry. All these things the devil's going to come at you with when you're waiting on God. You know, you may be waiting on deliverance or on an answer to a pressing question or a problem, or just waiting and expecting for God's blessing. In either case, it's an opportune time for the devil to attack, because it's at these times that we're more vulnerable. But what might God want to accomplish in having us wait upon Him? We already mentioned patience as being a godly trait, something we need, but consider some of these things. You know, God may want us to spend more time with Him in prayer and Bible study. God may want us to learn to trust Him more, or to get our focus on Him and get it off the world, or perhaps reflect on His past faithfulness towards us in other circumstances. Or God may want us to take time to examine our lives, see if there's sin there. But I think ultimately God always wants a more closer, intimate walk with us. King David said, "You are my portion." You know, and until God is enough, nothing else will ever satisfy the believer. God can deliver us from our enemies. He can guide us to the answers we need. But if we don't surrender to Him and let Him fill us up, we will walk around empty, longing for circumstances and feelings and others to bring us happiness and contentment. If we are waiting on, or if what we're waiting on becomes so much more important to us than God Himself, then we're missing the mark and we're focused on earthly things. You know, I remember the old hymn. It used to say, "On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand." And as we begin to talk about waiting on the Lord, I hope you will just turn your focus to Jesus Himself, because that is the main thing. Like my pastor used to say, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And I hope you'll keep the main thing, Jesus Christ, in your life. God bless you for tuning in, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.